Records were set last night and plenty of firepower was delivered in Game 1 of this weekend series between the Bruins and the Screaming Eagles. And if that wasn't enough, we're back for more today. My name is Trenton Goldsmith, welcoming you to Conestee Park on this beautiful afternoon here in Greenville, South Carolina, for a doubleheader between these South Region rivals. If you weren't able to join us last night, you missed an absolute treat of a baseball game. It was highlighted by pitcher from the Bruins, Mac Ritter, setting a school record 14 strikeouts on his night on the bump. Bruins jumped out to an 8-0 lead, but the Screaming Eagles came screaming back with five unanswered runs to make it 8-5. It got kind of tense in here at Conestee Park last night, but Conley Burke was put on the mound in his first appearance of the season to close it out with 3 straight strikeouts in the 9th inning. And the Bruins were able to take an 8-5 victory in Game 1. And now we're here starting Game 2 on the series. Matt Carroll on the mound for the Bruins and Charlie Compton leading off for the Screaming Eagles. First pitch by Carroll down in the dirt. For ball 1, Compton looking for some better luck than yesterday. Struck out 3 times. Those 3 of the 14 strikeouts for Ritter. He did get a single late in the game, so he wasn't held hitless. Has a batting average of almost 500. Again, one of the best hitters in the NCCAA. He's facing a 2-0 count here. Looks at strike 1. Biggest focus for Matt Carroll today is get past 4 innings. He's been able to get some firepower for the Bruins early on in games, but then loses some rhythm. That one is blasted, but goes foul. So now it's a 2-2 count. And Toccoa Falls faced a lot of 2-strike counts last night. Had a lot of quality at bats where they stuck in there and fought as long as they possibly could, but Mac Ritter and company got the best of them for the most part. Here's the 2-2 from Carroll. Up and out. And a lot like last night, again, another full count. Pretty sure they're the most full counts last night out of any game that I've ever called here at Conestee Park. So what better way to start today than a full count by Carroll. In there for strike 3, got Compton looking for out number 1. Kirkpatrick's throw down the third base to send it around the horn was way too high over the head of Burke. He got some boos from his own dugout. So 1 down here in the top of the first inning. Connor Merritt steps to the plate. Changeup does not quite find the inside corner for ball 1. Merritt, the left fielder today to start for Toccoa Falls. That one's too far inside, and that one's going to hit him. So Merritt's going to take his base. He's going to bring up Cole Smith. Smith and McCarron, who's on deck, have a lot of power in the middle of this Toccoa Falls lineup. They weren't able to show it off that much last night, but it's a new day, and we have 2 games today for them to find their rhythm at the plate again. Carroll trying to find control. It's a 1-0 count now to Cole Smith. Here's the 1-0 count. Another one up and out. Carroll asks for a new baseball. To avoid a 3-0 count, needs a strike here. Just like that. Matt Carroll can pitch up into the 90s on his fastball. Averages about 88, 89, but gets upward to 94 on the season. Here's the 2-1. In the dirt, blocked by Kirkpatrick again. Talked about it last night, but Kirkpatrick rarely lets anything get past him. So it's a 3-1 count to Smith. And Carroll has to avoid giving up 2 free bases. Can't do that, so Smith's going to walk to first base. Still 1 down here in the top of the first inning. Now 2 runners on for Ryan McCarron. A hit by pitch and walk makes Kirkpatrick go out and have a little talk with Carroll on the mound. Each time Kirkpatrick went to the mound last night for 2 meetings, it worked both times. Ritter calmed down the first time, and Swarms calmed down the second time. So whatever Kirkpatrick says when he goes out there, it usually works. McCarron bats .325 on the season. Again, has power, 3 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Has a chance to get that. That one's going to drift foul. Big hit toward his opposite field. The lefty trying to get it out. It's no 1 count. Carroll's ahead. Looked good. Good spot. 1-1 count. I think a pitch like that, it's all in how much movement the catcher's glove has. Kirkpatrick was set up outside, but I had to catch it inside. So great changeup by Carroll for strike 2. It's a 1-2 count. He's ahead against McCarron. Carroll shakes off the first sign from Kirkpatrick and now delivering the 1-2. That one slapped to left field. That's fair. So that's going to score at least 1. Cole Smith trying to run as fast as he can. He stops at 3. So Connor Merritt comes in to score. It's a 1-0 ball game here early in the top of the first inning. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Braden Alexander, still 1 out.
Now batting for Toccoa Falls, third baseman number 34, Braden Alexander.
Not a ton of speed on the bases, so a base hit might only score 1. That one's in there for strike 1. The 0-1. Low out of the zone for ball 1. Carroll has had control issues in the past, but it's usually only in the first, or only in the 3rd or 4th innings. Usually the first couple innings go by very quickly. The 2-1 from Carroll. Grounded. Goes foul. It's now a 2-2 count. This will be a big strikeout here to avoid any sort of sacrifice fly or play. The 2-2 count from Carroll. That one gets past Kirkpatrick. Smith coming in. Smith's going to score. Big fella hustles down the line. It's a 2-0 ball game. Much better start for Toccoa Falls offense than last night. It's a 3-2. Got him swinging. Got the strikeout he needed, but not before Smith gets home. 2 down here in the top of the first inning for Davis Jennings, the second baseman today.
Now batting for Toccoa Falls, second baseman number 6, Davis Jennings.
First pitch to Jennings was a ball. Ryan McCarron leading off of third base. Here's the 1-0. Now 2-0 count. That one hit him. So the ball is dead. So McCarron has to stay at third, and Davis Jennings is going to walk to first. Second hit by pitch in this first inning. Now Will Miller up, runners on the corners, 2 down.
Shortstop number 1, Will Miller.
Wouldn't surprise me if Jennings takes off to second base. Up and out for ball 1. Miller, the lefty, in the back of the box, getting as much time to read the fastball as he can. Here's the 1-1 count now. After that fastball strike by Carroll. He does crowd the plate, so Carroll has to be careful with another hit by pitch. That one's fouled off. One more strike for Carroll to get out of the inning with limited damage of just 2 runs. Again, runners on the corners. Here's the 1-2. In the dirt. That one gets past Kirkpatrick. McCarron coming home, and McCarron's going to score. That one hit the dirt well before home plate. Jennings moves up to second, so it's a 3-0 game, and Coach Rulepaw is going to come out for a meeting. Make sure the freshman doesn't get frazzled a little more. There are already people warming up in the Bruins bullpen. Last night, the Bruins bullpen was barren for a good 6 innings. No one was out there, not even sitting out there. Much different story today. Already someone throwing. So after the meeting with Coach Rulepaw, the at-bat continues. It's a 2-2 count. Carroll's still 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. Inside, full count. Here's the 3-2. Inside. Will Miller will take his base. So now runners on first and second for Isaac Ravitas.
Now batting for Toccoa Falls, catcher number 9, Isaac Ravitas.
Blocked by Kirkpatrick. It's 1-0 count. Another block by Kirkpatrick. Having to work hard back there early in game one today. And another one. 3 straight pitches in the dirt. And Kirkpatrick has kept all 3 in front of him. He's a 3-0 count. Ravitas really hasn't gotten into his full stance yet. That's a 4-pitch walk, so 2 straight walks, 3 straight free bases. Loads the bases with 2 outs still. Nick Eckert coming on to run for Ravitas like he did last night. Bases are loaded for Peyton Powell, hitting in the 9 spot tonight. Got moved down after last night, striking out 4 times. Had a hard time seeing it last night, but again, could be a lot different today. He has a big chance here with the bases loaded. Carroll back in his full windup. That's hit to left field, but drifting foul. Last night, Toccoa Falls was pulling everything. I mean, everything. And so far today, they've been late. Obviously, Carroll pitches a lot faster than Ritter does, but so far it's been a different story than last night in multiple aspects. That one doesn't get in time for ball 1. One count. Blocked by Kirkpatrick. Keeps Jennings at third. It's now 2-1. Another pitch low, 3-1 count. Carroll has to avoid walking in a run. That one's in the dirt and gets past Kirkpatrick, but it doesn't matter. It's a walking in a run. It's a 4-0 ball game. 4 straight free bases. And Kyle Morrison, I think, is going to the pen already here in game 1. He does. So Matt Carroll can't get through inning 1. He got 2 outs and was able to put himself in a position to get out of it with limited damage, but couldn't get it out in the last 4 batters. So now it looks like Curtis West coming in from the pen, and we'll be back after he warms up. So now Curtis West on the mound facing a batter that he probably doesn't want to see in Charlie Compton. Bases are loaded, 2 down in the top of the first inning. While Compton has struggled this weekend so far, he thrives in situations like this. He put that thing a mile in the air, but Evan Johnson is there to gather it, so it takes 1 pitch for Curtis West to get out of the inning. Toccoa Falls puts 4 on the board in the top of the first inning. Bruins look to answer back in the bottom.
Leading off for the Bruins, catcher number 19, Cody Kirkpatrick.
Back here in the bottom of the first inning, Ashton Sapp starting on the mound for Toccoa Falls. Cody Kirkpatrick leading off again for the second straight game. Gets on base about 50% of the time. Has a courtesy runner anyway, so gets some speed on the bases if he does get on base. Bruins gave up 4 runs on 1 hit in the top of the first inning. Kirkpatrick takes that one for ball 2. Kirkpatrick only had 1 hit last night. When I talked to him this morning, he said, I'm okay with it. We got the win. We move on today. Hits that. Miller gathers it. Miller throws over to first base and gets Kirkpatrick in time. That's one thing that Toccoa Falls struggled with to start the game last night, was making the plays in the infield. Several hits by the Bruins last night, where the Bruins beating out throws because Toccoa Falls infield took their time.
Number 17, Kyle Prowse.
Now the next 3 batters in the Bruins lineup all had 3 hits last night. Prowse, Burke, and Johnson. Seeing the ball real well. Prowse, big cut. Swings through strike 1. Prowse is having a career year from the plate. Hits that one high in the air. McCarron under it. And same spot as the last out of the top of the first inning. The same spot as the second out in the bottom of the first. Conley Burke now with 2 outs. It's a very quick inning if Sapp can get Burke here.
Baseman number 10, Conley Burke.
That one's popped up. McCarron under that one. And he grabs it. 1-2-3 inning on a very few pitches from Ashton Sapp. We're already headed to the top of the second inning. Score is still 4-0. So after only 7 pitches by Sapp in the bottom of the first inning, we're already back for the top of the second. Connor Merritt in his second at bat already. Toccoa Falls batted through the order in the top of the first inning. 1 hit for 4 runs. That one hit well before home plate. So it's a 1-1 count now. Curtis West on the mound. West came in with the bases loaded for Charlie Compton and was able to get Compton with 1 pitch on a pop-out. Another one well before home plate. Bruins pitchers have struggled today so far, getting it to the plate, putting Kirkpatrick to work back there. The 2-1 from West. Low for ball 3. Great pitch by West. It's fouled off, and now it's a full count. Merritt was hit by a pitch in his first at bat. It was the one that started the scoring for Toccoa Falls. First one to cross home plate. The only Toccoa Falls hitter with a hit is McCarran. Off-speed pitch doesn't get down in time for ball 4. So another free base given up. Brings up Cole Smith, who has walked in his first at-bat. Again, Smith not given an opportunity so far this week to show off his power. He is a pull hitter. Was pulling everything last night, but always went way too foul. Pulls that one. That one jumps over the glove of Johnson. Sterrett's going to take third base. That one, a lot of topspin on it. Made the bounce off the ground a lot higher than I think Johnson was expecting. Now runners on the corners with none down. And it's Ryan McCarran who hit the double in his first at-bat, now up.
Now batting for Toccoa Falls, first baseman number 32, Ryan McCarran.
That one's ball 1. Again, another off-speed pitch that just didn't get in or down. So it's a 1-0 count to McCarran. Up and out for ball 2. Wes has to be careful here to limit the damage as much as he possibly can. Two-0 count. Hit into left field. That one's going to get down. A run will come in. Cole Smith headed to third. And McCarron trying to push for a second double of the day. That's exactly what he does. RBI double makes it 5-0. Now runners on second and third. Still none down for Braden Alexander.
Now batting for Toccoa Falls, third baseman number 34, Braden Alexander.
Alexander struck out in his first at-bat with a big chance here, though, to flip the script. Ball outside. It's the same situation we saw last inning, and it was Smith scoring on a passed ball. On the 1-0 count to Alexander. Hit to left field. Is that going to stay fair? It will. It gets down in the corner. 2 runs are going to score. And Alexander's going to have a stand-up double. It's 7-0. So last night it was the Bruins getting out to an early and big lead, and today it's Toccoa Falls.
Now batting for Toccoa Falls, second baseman number 6, Davis Jennings.
Still none down. In the top of the second inning, Davis Jennings up to the plate with Alexander leading off second base. That one's in there for strike one. Wes and the Bruins in a few more of those. And Leeds need to get their first out in this inning. Off speed. That one gets away from Kirkpatrick. And Alexander's all over that. Takes third for free. It's a 1-2 count. Runner now on third. And Jennings just a base hit away from an RBI. Here's the 1-2. Off-speed pitch, too high. It's now a 2-2 count. Outside for ball 3. Bruins still need their first out of the inning. Patient at bat by Jennings. Here's the full count. Outside for ball 4. Another walk. Runners on the corners, none down for Will Miller.
Now batting for Toccoa Falls, shortstop number 1, Will Miller.
Will Miller was walked in his last at bat. Rips that to center field. Gonzalez tracking it. Gets it for out number 1. And Alexander tags, so it's an 8-0 ball game. Sac fly for an RBI by Will Miller.
Now batting for Toccoa Falls, catcher number 9, Isaac Ragadis.
So this is starting exactly like last night. Bruins had an 8-0 lead, and now Toccoa Falls has an 8-0 lead. They do finally have an out. Jennings still on first base. Another ball up. That off-speed pitch in there for a strike. The 2-1 to Ravitas. Up for ball 3. The 3-1. Another walk. So after Ritter dominates Toccoa Falls last night, totally different story here today. Bruins pitchers are struggling to find the strike zone. So Eckert's going to come on to run again for Ravitas. There have been 9 free bases given up by Carroll and West so far. 7 walks, 2 hit by pitch. Now Peyton Powell. Runners on first and second, 1 down. That pitch gets in there for strike 1. Ball outside. Again, Powell was struck out 4 times last night. A really tough night. The 1-1. Hits that out of play. And now one of the first 2 strike counts we've seen in a while. Force out anywhere on the field except home plate. The 1-2 from West. Outside. Two count. Another pitch outside. So another full count. Both teams so far this weekend have been very good at being selective and making the pitchers pitch. Full count, 1 down. That one's ripped to right field, gets down in front of Prowse. There will be no play at the plate. All the runners advance 1 base, and now the bases are loaded for Charlie Compton again. Last time we saw the bases loaded for Compton, West got him out on a pop-up.
Now batting for Toccoa Falls, center fielder number 7, Charlie Compton.
Compton, 6 home runs on the season. First pitch smothered by Kirkpatrick behind the plate. The 1-0 to Compton. Inside. Another block by Kirkpatrick. Jennings on third. Eckert on second. Powell on first. Still only 1 out. Another pitch inside. So 3 straight balls to start the at-bat against Compton. Compton 0 for 2 so far today. Strikeout and pop out. has the green light. Hits that to center field. Gonzalez gets back on it for out number 2. A run will score. So a sac fly by Compton had the green light on the 3-0 count. So it's 9-0 now. Screaming Eagles continue to pile it on. Runners on the corners, 2 down. Connor Merritt's reached base in both at-bats, hit by a pitch and a walk. In there for strike 1. There goes the runner. Kirkpatrick's going to throw, not there in time. So that's going to be a stolen base for Peyton Powell. One count. Runners now on second and third. Popped up. Shallow center field. Gonzalez loses his hat, but catches the ball for out number 3. So the Bruins finally get out of the top of the second inning. And Screaming Eagles piled it on. It's a 9-0 lead for them, headed to the bottom of the second.
For the Bruins, first baseman number 42, Evan Johnson.
So after only pitching 7 pitches in the bottom of the first inning, sat back on the mound, and also after a long break. That one's hit up the middle for a base hit by Johnson on the first pitch. Johnson seeing the ball great, getting his hands through his swing very quickly, and has now 4 base hits on the weekend.
Designated hitter number 14, Caden Kennedy.
Brings up Caden Kennedy in the DH spot to start today. Bryson French has been there past couple of games, but now Kennedy gets his chance to face Sapp. Bruins in a big hole, down 9-0. But Toccoa Falls was able to bring it back a little bit last night. Made it pretty tense late in the game. The Bruins can look to do the same thing here. Just a run at a time, all they got to do. It's a 1-0 count to Kennedy. Up for ball 2. Kennedy in his 58 at-bats, batting .259. So pretty decent hitter. That one finds the zone for strike one. Angelo Gomez on deck. In the dirt, smothered by Ravitas. Up and out. Now a full count. Bruins want a base hitter, ball 4. It appears it should be ball 4. I don't think anybody. I'm not sure what just happened. Did Caden Kennedy foul tip that? So it appears to be full count again. I'm not entirely sure what just happened there. That should have been ball 4 unless that hit Kennedy's bat somewhere. And instead, Kennedy gets down looking for out number 1. I don't really know.
Now batting for the Bruins, shortstop number 23, Angelo Gomez.
So now instead of 2 runners on, no outs, it's still 1 runner on, 1 out for Angelo Gomez. Gomez hits that to left field. It's going to get all the way down into the corner. Johnson's going to stop at 3. Great hit by Angelo Gomez. Now Sam Gonzalez up. 2 runners in scoring position. McCarron playing in at first base. Gonzalez half swung through that for strike 1. Pitch is in the dirt for ball 1. Big chance here for Gonzalez to cut into this deficit. Gomez halfway to third on his leadoff. There's no one keeping him on. In there for strike 2. Gomez will definitely be going home on a base hit. 1 down. Gonzalez fouls that off to keep the battle going. Gonzalez stays off that for ball 1. Ball 2. Excuse me, 2-2 count. The 2-2 from Sapp. Ball outside, full count. Full count, one down. Swung through for strike three. Big strikeout for Ashton Sapp. Now two down in the bottom of the second inning. Max Lucien Jr. up to the plate with two runners in scoring position.
Now batting for the Bruins, second baseman number 12, Max Lucien Jr.
Pitch is slightly outside for ball one. I think Sapp wanted that to be called a strike. The 1-0 in the dirt for a 2-0. Zay Brandt is on deck. Again, massive leadoff by Gomez on second base. That one goes over Max Lucien Jr. for ball three. A walk would load the bases for Brandt. In there for strike one. Lucien Jr. tried to act like he was squaring for a bunt to try to just get in the eyesight of Ashton Sapp, but didn't seem to bother him that much. As a 3-1 count. That's grounded. Miller charging on it. Miller over to first base. And Sapp gets out of the jam. Bruins can't score a run. It's 9-0. We're headed to the top of the third inning. Cole Smith leading off the top of the third inning for the Toccoa Falls Screaming Eagles. That first pitch by Jason Quillen, grounded to Lucien Jr., thrown over to Johnson at first base for out number one. So great start for Quillen. Brings up Ryan McCarron, 2 for 2, 2 doubles on the day. Past couple outings for Quillen have been a little rough. Quillen looking to change that story here today. Swung through. Yes, he did, by McCarran. Quillen in 14 2/3 innings pitched, 17.18 ERA. 13 walks, 13 strikeouts. Again, off-speed dominant pitcher. Too low and out of the zone for ball 2. A 2-1 count. Outside for ball 3. And 3 straight pitches outside. And Ryan McCarran draws a walk. Brings up Braden Alexander, who doubled in his last at bat. 1 for 2 on the day. Cut by Alexander. Whiffs through it for strike 1. And the past couple teams that have faced Quillen have gotten used to his curveball and been able to hit pretty far. That one's going to be shallow center field. Gonzalez loses his hat again, but it doesn't bother him this time either. Out number 2. Now Davis Jennings gets up to the plate. Jennings has reached base 2 different ways. Still without a hit by a pitch and walk. A quick 2 outs for Quillen. One-0 count. Outside. All 3 pitchers so far for the Bruins have struggled facing lefties. Can't quite find that strike zone. And they're too far outside the majority of the time. That's a little dribbler back to Quillen. Quillen will take his time over to first base. And with the exception of the walk, great inning by Jason Quillen. 3 outs and 4 batters. And we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Bruins still looking to make a dent in the 9-0 deficit. So during the middle of the inning, the Bruins try to get energy in the dugout because they're still in a 9-0 hole. But again, new culture, new team. They think they can get back into this game. Zay Brandt is leading off. The final batter of the first way through the lineup finally for the Bruins. And bounces early 2-0 count against Brandt. The Screaming Eagles are on their third way around their lineup right now. Bruins finally closing out their first one. It's 2-0. Ball outside. Nope, that's called a strike. Found the outside corner. So it's a 2-1 count by Sapp. In there for strike 2. Kirkpatrick on deck, top of the order. Brandt, grounder, fielded by Alexander. Alexander over to first base, beats Brandt. 1 down. Brings up Cody Kirkpatrick. Grounded out in his first at bat.
Now batting for the Bruins, catcher Cody Kirkpatrick.
Kirkpatrick takes strike 1. That one's outside for ball 1. Kirkpatrick pulls that one out of play. It's a 1-2 count. Ashton Sapp leads the team in the lowest ERA with 6.03 and 34 and 1/3 innings pitched. The most by a lot on this Toccoa Falls team. So Ashton Sapp is the best pitcher so far in the season for the Screaming Eagles. Up in the air for ball 2. It is going to be interesting to see who the Toccoa Falls Screaming Eagles pitch in game 2 today. They used 5 arms yesterday, so they're probably going to try to get Sapp to go as long as possible. And he strikes out Kirkpatrick for out number 2 in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Now batting for the Bruins, right fielder Kyle Prouse.
Prouse trying to start something with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. Here's the 1-0. Fouled out of play. It's a 1-1 count. One count to Prouse. Fouls that one back into the net. So now Sapp 1 strike away from going 3 up, 3 down. Here's the 1-2. Prouse goes down swinging. 3 up, 3 down by Ashton Sapp. We're headed to the top of the 4th inning. Bruins still down 9-0. Will Miller leading off. Top of the 4th inning for Toccoa Falls. Chopper to first base. Barely goes foul. So he's facing an early 0-2 count. Quillen on the mound for the Bruins did a great job in the last inning. Got 3 outs quicker than either other pitcher before him. One, 2 count. Hit to center field. That one's going to get down. So Miller with a leadoff single. Isaac Ravitas has been walked in both at-bats today.
Now batting for the Eagles, catcher Isaac Ravitas.
Miller leading off of first base. Ball's down in the dirt for ball 1. 1-0 count. Off-speed pitch in there for strike 1. 1-1 count from Quillen. Here's the 1-1. In the dirt, blocked by Kirkpatrick. 2-1 count. We have a pretty good attendance today here at Conestee Park. People from both teams. A lot of people have traveled up from Toccoa Falls. Not that long of a drive. And then several from Bob Jones. More than I thought, because Bob Jones is starting spring break. So next week they have the week off. But still a good amount of people came out this afternoon for a doubleheader here at Conestee Park. Not the start the Bruins wanted today, but again, have a chance again. Have a chance again in game 2. Sorry, I got distracted by that foul ball and went over my head. I thought for a second there I might be able to stretch and reach it, but turns out to be 20 feet over my head instead of 2 like I thought. 2-2 count from Quillen. Did he go? He did. So Quillen gets a strikeout for out number 1. And now Peyton Powell. 1 for 1 on the day. Walked in his first at-bat. Single in his last at-bat.
Now batting for the Eagles, right fielder Peyton Powell.
He did for strike 1. So 2 straight check swings. It's not often you see that by 2 different batters. So no 1 count. Big cut by Powell for strike 2. So now Quillen up in the count 0-2. Will Miller leading off of first base. Here's the 0-2. Hitting the center field, tailing towards left field. That one's going to get down in the gap. So Miller turns on his wheels. Miller's going to stop at third, though. So a double by Powell. The wind moved that one a far way. Off the bat, it looked like he was just going straight to center. But it kept whipping towards left, farther and farther away from Gonzalez. And that one got down into the gap. So now Compton up with 2 runners in scoring position. His previous 2 at-bats, he was up with the bases loaded. His last at-bat got a sac fly for an RBI. Big cut by Compton. You can tell he wants to show off the power that he has. Compton looking for his right pitch. Grounder gets past Lucian Jr. It's going to score at least one. Powell's going to stop at one. Or stop at three, excuse me. Compton's going to stop at one. He gets an RBI single. Lead is now 10-0. So runners on the corners, one down for Connor Merritt. Popped out in his last at bat.
Now batting for the Eagles, left fielder Connor Merritt.
The 0-1. Merritt chases a breaking ball. 0-2 count. The 0-2 from Quillen. Blocked by Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick, I think, blocked that with his throwing hand. After he got up to grab it, he had to shake off his hand like it hit his thumb or something. So runners stay at the corners. Merritt still looking for his first hit of the day. Won't get it there, strikes out swinging. So now 2 outs in the top of the 4th for Cole Smith. 1 for 2. Walked in his first at bat. Single and then ground out. Jumps away from Kirkpatrick into the field, but he goes up and cleans it up. Compton still at first base. Surprised he hasn't gone towards second. He does lead the team in steals. It's a 1-1 count. Compton does go. This throw gets Compton in a pickle. And to avoid any sort of throw around play, Gonzalez just keeps it. Forces Compton to just go back to first base, so we're back in our spot where we were. Not sure what Compton was trying there. I mean, it's 2 outs. That's going to force Quillen to check back Compton to first base. Outside. Now a 3-1 count. If it's close, Smith will most likely be swinging at this pitch. 3-1. Smith does swing. That one's going to get to the wall. Bouncing on the warning track. Smith rounding first, headed to second. Compton coming all the way home. Scoring from third. 2 RBI double for Cole Smith. The offense continues to explode for Toccoa Falls. And now the hottest hitter on the team this weekend, Ryan McCarron.
First baseman Ryan McCarron.
Up with a runner in scoring position. Has doubled twice today. Walked in his last at bat. That one goes outside. one is smothered by Kirkpatrick. I was talking to Kirkpatrick before the game. He goes, I'm hoping to catch both games today. But I don't know if that's going to stay true. After all the work he's been putting in this game one, it might exhaust him. And it is getting pretty warm out. And so actually they're just going to send McCarron to first base with an intentional walk. Gets rid of the big hitting threat that he is and also gives the Bruins a force out anywhere. So that brings up Braden Alexander. Runners now on first and second.
Now batting for the Eagles, third baseman Braden Alexander.
The 1-0. Outside, ball two. The 2-0 now. Swung through, big cut by Alexander. Still 2 outs. Another big cut by Alexander for strike 2. So now Quillen 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. Toccoa Falls has added 3 to their lead. Pitch is outside. Full count. Strike 3. Got Braden Alexander looking. He was already tossing his bat back to the dugout, and he'll follow his bat back to the dugout. Headed to the bottom of the 4th inning. Score is 12-0. Conley Burke leading off the bottom of the 4th inning for the Bruins. Bruins are still scoreless, down 12-0 after Toccoa Falls added 3 in the top of the 4th inning.
Conley Burke.
I was about to say Ashton Sapp is still in the zone, but then he threw that about 4 feet in front of home plate, but it probably won't change anything. Sapp has been dealing so far today, a lot like Ritter was dealing last night. That one's in there for a strike. Not as many strikeouts so far as Ritter had at this point in the game last night, but he is standing at 4 strikeouts on the day. He's only given up 2 hits. It's a 2-1 count to Burke. Burke couldn't hold back that swing. Now has to battle with a 2-2 count. Hard hit. through the infield. So Burke with the leadoff single. Miller did not have much time at shortstop to try and go get that. Now that brings up Evan Johnson, one of 2 batters for the Bruins to get a hit in their first at bat.
Evan Johnson.
Hit a single right up the middle in the first pitch he saw. Johnson rips that through the infield. So another single for Johnson. Again, continues to find his rhythm from the plate. Now it's 5 base hits in the last 2 games. I was talking about last night how they've been working with him to just get his hands through the zone. Not so much swing as hard as he can with his arms, but just he's strong enough, big enough to just, if he puts his hands through, it's going to be a base hit. And he's shown the product of that work. So after 2 leadoff runners, Ravitas is going to have a quick meeting with Sapp on the mound. I don't know really about what. Probably just to calm him down and reassure him that he's the best pitcher on the team.
Now batting for the Bruins, designated hitter Caden Kennedy.
Caden Kennedy struck out in his first at bat. Now the chance here to extend what could be a good inning for the Bruins. None down. Runners on first and second for Kennedy. That one's inside on Kennedy. Last time Kennedy was at the plate, everyone up here at the table with stats and everything was very confident it was a 3-2 count. And it looked like there was ball 4, but Kennedy didn't take first base. It had to have gone off his bat somehow because no one moved. Like, Kennedy didn't even start going towards first base. So no one really thought it was a ball 4 on the field, but everyone up here thought it was. Then Kennedy ended up striking out in the next pitch looking. So still not entirely sure what happened there. That one's in for strike 1. It's now a 2-1 count. I'm being very careful keeping count of what the pitch count is. So it's 2-1. Sapp delivers. Inside. Kennedy tries to pull it. Goes in foul play. So it's now a 2-2 count. Kennedy will have to protect. Gomez is on deck. Here's the 2-2 to Kennedy. Fouled out of play, staying alive. Battle continues. 2-2 count between Sapp and Kennedy. That one right to Alexander. Touches 3, goes 1, and that throw is going to get away. Kennedy's going to take off towards second. Evan Johnson, they're turning him home. No, they're going to keep him at 3. Coach Morrison remembers the wheels Johnson had yesterday and was waving him home at first, but and realizes, you know what, maybe that's not the greatest idea. So Burke is out at third base. There's 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Kennedy's on second, and Johnson's on third. And now Gomez is up. Hit a double in his last at-bat down the third baseline. So Kennedy should be credited with a fielder's choice. and then E5 to move up the runners. Two straight strikes to Gomez. Gomez has to protect now. Oh, 2 count. Gomez tips that one back. Just barely gets his bat on it. Stays alive. The 0-2 again. Hit softly to Jennings. Jennings will throw it to first base, but a run will get in. So the Bruins finally have a run on the board, down 12-1. Kennedy moved over to third base, so now runner on third for Sam Gonzalez. Struck out in his first at bat. Take strike one. Thought about it. Strike anyway, so it's an 0-2 count early. Ball's in the dirt, 1-2 count. A 1-2 from Sapp. Blocked again by Ravitas. Two count. Up out of the zone. Gonzalez forces a full count. Full count, 2 outs. Grounder to Alexander. His throw to first base, much better that time. Gets Gonzalez out at first for out number 3. The Bruins do get a run on the board, but they're still down 12-1. Largely due to the great pitching by Ashton Sapp. We head to the top of the 5th inning. 12-1. Several defensive changes to start the top of the 5th inning for the Bruins. Bryson French now catching. David Medina now at third base. Mannix Crawford now at shortstop. Sam Gerhardt now at first base. It appears to be Malachi Major in right field. Quillen's still on the mound. Max Lucien Jr. still at second base. Gonzalez still in center. Brandt still in left. But everything else is different. Jennings leading off. So I was talking about last inning how Kirkpatrick wanted to catch both games and how he might get subbed out for game 2. He got subbed out in the middle of game 1. Again, a lot of work he put in behind the plate in the first 4 innings of the game. 2-1 count. Appeared to actually be a 3-1 count, so Jennings is going to take a walk. Brings up Will Miller, singled in his last at bat.
Now batting for Eagles shortstop Will Miller.
In there for strike 1. Miller hit a sac fly for an RBI. In his second at bat. So no 1 count. Swung through that. 0-2 count. The 0-2 from Quillen. The 1-2 now. Not in there for a strike. 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Not quite in the zone. Full count. And Quillen loses Miller after leading him with an 0-2 count. Miller's going to take a walk. Brings up Isaac Ravitas.
Now batting for the Eagles catcher Isaac Ravitas.
Ravitas, 2 walks and a strikeout on the day. Two runners on, none down in top of the 5th inning. That one was fouled off his foot. I think if Ravitas was able to just run through that pain, it may have been called in play. The umpire, I don't think, really knew it was off his foot until he saw Ravitas react. A 1-1 count. In there for strike 2. That looked real close. Just barely outside. I think with the umpire last night, that would have been strike 3, but every umpire is a slightly different zone. 2-2 count. Almost got him on that breaking ball, but Rivita stays back on it. Now another full count. And another batter lost. Urvitas will take his base. Third walk for him on the day. So I'm guessing we're going to see Eckert come out of the dugout. It's exactly what will happen. So now it appears there might be a change. Looks like David Chappell's warming up in the pen. At least the conversation from Morrison on the mound. And he will motion over to the bullpen, and David Chappell will come in to pitch. So after walking 3 straight batters, Quillen's day is done. And Chappell will come in. Still none down in the top of the 5th inning. We'll be back after the change. Peyton Powell will be the first batter Chappell faces today. Singled and doubled in his last 2 at-bats. Bases are loaded. No outs in the top of the 5th inning. Chappell 14.29 ERA in 5 2/3. Tough start for Chappell, 2 straight balls. Chappell with 7 walks, 8 strikeouts on the day. Hit out of play. That thing was skied out of play. I think if Powell hit that in fair territory, it would have been gone. 2-1 count. It was blocked by French just after it hit him. He had no idea where it went. Popped straight up in the air, forward. Luckily, Chappell saw it, and no runners advanced. Powell seeing the ball a lot better than last night. Here's the 3-1. Down in the dirt. Another walked-in run. And another bases-loaded opportunity for Charlie Compton. His third bases-loaded opportunity on the day. In his last at-bat, he had runners on second and third. Was able to hit a single, scoring one. Has 2 RBIs on the day. Had a sac fly before that with bases loaded. But no outs here. Bases loaded. 13-1 lead for Toccoa Falls. Compton takes that one for ball 1. Still looking for his big contact moment of the weekend. He seems to have one per weekend where he just sends to the moon. Inside. 2-0 count. That was called a strike by the umpire. I don't know why. That was now a 2-1 count. Helps Chappell out a little bit. Now facing a 3-1 count. That called strike was nearly in the dirt. And outside. I think Compton wants a hit anyway. It's a 3-1 count. Hitters count. Chappell delivers. Ball out of the zone. It's another walked-in run. Compton still looking for his big contact moment of the weekend. Bases remain loaded. Still none down in the top of the 5th inning for Connor Merritt. First pitch to Merritt, outside for ball 1.
Now batting for the Eagles, left fielder Connor Merritt.
There is no one else out in the Bruins bullpen warming up. The 1-0. In there for strike 1. Now strike 2. One, 2 count. Fouled off by Merritt, stays alive. Hit down the line, barely goes foul. That one would have scored 2. The 1-2 count again. Bruins still looking for their first out. That's a chopper in the middle. Crawford's going to take it himself. 1 and 2. So double play turned by Mannix Crawford. 2 down. Run does score. It's 14-1. And now runner on third base. So Austin Ryder coming in to bat for Cole Smith. Ryder's a freshman from Stafford, Virginia.
Number 45, Austin Ryder.
Runner on third base, 2 outs. It's a 1-0 count. Ryder a .333 batting average. Down in the dirt for ball 2. Ryder still looking for his first RBI on the season. In fact, this is only his 4th at bat all season long. That one finds the outside corner. It's a 2-1 count. Now 3-1 count. Chapel keeps losing his hat. The 3-1. Chapel loses his hat again and walks another batter. So Austin Ryder heads to first base. Now Ryan McCarron is up. Doubled in his first 2 at-bats, walked in his second 2 at-bats.
First baseman Ryan McCarron.
The 0-1. In there for strike 2. So McCarron's looked at 2 straight strikes, both of which having pretty pitches. So no 2 count now. Ball outside. The 1-2. That hits him. So that's going to load the bases. Two down, bases loaded for Braden Alexander. 1 for 4 on the day, a double. Has struck out twice.
Now batting for the Eagles, third baseman Braden Alexander.
Can extend the lead even more. That one finds the zone. 0-1 count. Ball's outside. 1-1 now. Here's the 1-1. Ball up, 2-1. If Alexander can reach, Aiden Dumas is on deck for Toccoa Falls. Number 14, the freshman, will bat in place of Davis Jennings. Here's the 2-1. Grounded to Medina. Medina can't handle it. So a run will come in to score. 15-1. Still 2 outs. Bases loaded for Aiden Dumas. Dumas on the season has 74 at-bats. It's the first time we're seeing him all weekend. Coming into this weekend, he started all 24 games. Not sure why we're just finally now seeing him, but he's coming in batting for Davis Jennings. Bases loaded again. The 0-1. The 1-1 to Dumas. Now a 3-1 count. Big cut from Dumas. Full count. Full count, 2 outs. Runners will get a head start. The full count to Dumas. Up out of the zone for ball 4. Another walk. So it looks like we're going to get Zay Brandt coming in to pitch from left field. Morrison's running out of options here. This will be Zay Brandt's first appearance on the season. Nope. Maybe Brandt's coming out. Not sure what the plan here is. Devontae Brown's coming in. And it looks like he's going to play left field. And yeah, it looks like Zay Brandt will be taking the mound. So Brandt's first appearance on the mound will take place today. He gets put in with the bases loaded, 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. It is 16-1. We'll be back after the change. So last night we saw the first appearance on the mound by Conley Burke on the season. And this afternoon we get to see Zay Brandt making his first appearance on the mound. Gets put in with the bases loaded. Only needs one out to get out of the fifth inning. Will Miller is up to bat for Toccoa Falls. That one hit hard, but the wind stops it. That's gonna, no man, what a play by Sam Gonzalez. I was about to say that's gonna get down because the wind killed it out there, but Gonzalez makes the play. So it took Zay one pitch to get out of the top of the fifth inning. Toccoa Falls tacked on a lot more. It's 16-1, headed to the bottom of the fifth. Noah Baker now on the mound to close it out for Toccoa Falls. I'm pretty sure there is a mercy rule in play in game one here. Saw Coach Morrison discussing with umpires and Toccoa Falls dugout. The score 16-1. I don't see the Bruins scoring 15 runs in 3 innings. An incredible start by Ashton Sapp. 4 innings, just 1 earned run. Only allowed 4 hits on the day. Max Lucien Jr. up leading off for the Bruins. Grounded out in his first at-bat. Again, the Bruins still only going through their second time through the lineup. Sapp did a great job shutting them down. Lucien Jr. looks at strike 2. Baker has pitched 2 1/3 this season. That's up in the air for ball 2. So I think unless the Bruins can score 6 runs in this 5th inning, I think the game will end. Up in the air for ball 3. Now Lucian Jr. facing a full count against Baker. And Lucian Jr. taking off for a leadoff walk. And now I see Zay Brandt. Zay Brandt came in to pitch. Had one pitch and got out of the inning. Thanks to a great play by Sam Gonzalez in center field. There's the first strike of the at-bat for Baker. Two-one count. Up, that gets past Ravitas behind the plate. Lucian Jr. taking second for free. Zay Brandt tips that into the net. Now a full count. Full count. Gets Brandt looking. And Brandt's not even going to run the first base. So Ravitas just tags him out for out number one. Bryson French steps to the plate. Came in for Kirkpatrick defensively, so he's going to bat in place of him as well.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 15, Bryson French.
That one goes over French for ball one. Baker wants a new baseball. That one finds the lower part of the strike zone for strike one. The 1-1 count. Tipped back. Almost squeezed by Ravitas. No, 1-2 count. Off-speed pitch, didn't cut inside enough. 2-2. Just made aware that the camera is not working, so if you can still hear me, I apologize. We will try to fix this between games. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. The camera might be a little too hot. That might be a problem. French was walked, so Gabe Gearhart's going to come in to run for him. Again, we'll try to fix that. I appreciate the patience. I don't know how long that's been going on, but so now Malachi Major's going to step to the plate. Runners on first and second, one down. Just feels like a radio call now. I got to say every single tiny detail of this game. The grass is green, the dirt is brown. Toccoa Falls in the baby blue and the Bruins in the navy. Score is 16-1. You're not missing much in game one here today. Pure dominance by the Screaming Eagles. The Bruins will have to look to clean it up in game two. That one's in there for a strike. 2-2 count. Two-two count. Swung through by Major. Baker strikes him out. Toccoa Falls 1 out away from closing this game. Game 2 will start 30 minutes after the end of this one.
For the Bruins, third baseman David Medina.
It's a 1-0 count to Medina. And now a 1-1 count. Up in the air for ball 2. That one's in the outside corner for strike 2. 2-2 count, Noah Baker. 1 strike away. Up and out of the zone, full count. The full count, runners go. But it doesn't matter anyway, Medina swings through strike 3. And it looks like they aren't playing the run rule. So we're going to head to the top of the 6th inning. Or no, they are. There is a lot of confusion right now. So they are going to play in the top of the 6th inning. Score is 16-1. I'm going to step away for a quick second to try to figure out why the screen is not on. So hopefully I'll be right back. Our screen is black and everything looks fine over here.
Now batting for the Eagles, right fielder Peyton Powell.
So hopefully we're all back on. I do apologize for that. I don't know how long it was like that, but thank you for sticking around. There is one out here in the top of the 6th inning. Again, I'm kind of surprised they're not playing the run rule with it being a 15-run game, but I don't make those decisions. Zay Brandt's back on the mound for the Bruins. That one hit high in the air. Crawford going back. Crawford came all the way from shortstop to try to get that. I don't think Devontae Brown saw it off the bat in left field, so that's going to get down. And Powell's going to have a double. And now Charlie Compton steps up. With the exception of his leadoff at bat, he has had at least one runner in scoring position in every at bat since. And that remains true after the double by Powell. That one way outside. It's a 1-0 count. Inside, 2-0 count. Up and out of the zone. 3 straight balls. And Compton gets the green light from his teammates in the dugout. Way outside for ball 4. So Compton's going to take his base. And now Connor Merritt up for his 6th at-bat of the day. And he is still without a hit, actually. He was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat and walked in his second, but has gotten out each of the last 3 times. That one's up and out of the zone. Hit high to shallow right. Major's going to come get it. And now there's 2 down in the top of the 6th inning.
Now batting for the Eagles, designated hitter Austin Ryder.
Austin Ryder steps to the plate, was walked in his last at bat, which was his first of the day. Stings that one, but goes foul. The 0-1. Ball outside. Now a 1-1 count. That one finds the strike zone, 1-2 count. Crawford fields it, flips over to second base. And we're out of the top of the 6th inning. So the Bruins down 16-1 still, headed to the bottom of the 6th. Sam Gerhardt leading off the bottom of the 6th inning for the Bruins. Noah Baker still on the mound for Toccoa Falls. That one was not gathered in. So Gerhardt's going to reach first base to begin the bottom of the 6th inning. Devontae Brown now up for the Bruins. That one's in there for strike one.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 34, Devontae Brown.
He crushed that ball, but it goes foul. So now an 0-2 count. Hard grounder to shortstop, flipped over to second base, over to first. Nope, not going to make the throw to first. So it does get Gerhardt at second base. So Devontae Brown hits into a fielder's choice. And now Mannix Crawford steps in, batting for Angelo Gomez.
Now batting for the Bruins, shortstop Mannix Crawford.
That one's hit the right field. He's going to go back on that. He's going to grab it. So solid contact by Crawford. And now there's 2 down. David Twitty's going to come up and bat in place of Sam Gonzalez.
For the Bruins, number 37, David Twitty.
Tipped off the helmet. The 0-1. 1-1 count now from Baker. Medrano is on deck. Hit out of play, 1-2 count. Twitty has to battle now. The 1-2. Up in the air. 2-2 count. Off-speed pitch does not find the strike zone. Now a full count, 2 outs. Devontae Brown will have a head start at first base. Twitty looking for anything close here. That's a ball outside. Twitty will take his base. Now Elijah Medrano up. With 2 outs. Runners on first and second.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 24, Elijah Medrano.
First time we've seen Medrano all weekend. Hits that one over the glove of Jennings. So his single will load the bases. Good cut by Elijah Medrano. Bases are now loaded with 2 outs for Zay Brandt. Dirt blocked. It's a 1-0 count. Foul tipped, 1-1 count. Brant hits that one through the infield. Devontae Brown scores. Twitty coming home. Twitty will score. So a 2 RBI single for Zay Brant. Madrano moves up to second base. Now Bryson French is up. But before that, quick conference on the mound. Hard hit by French. That's going to get to the wall. Madrano's going to score. Zay Brant will stop at 3, an RBI double for Bryson French. So now Gabe Gerhardt will bat. And Toccoa Falls is going to go to the pen. So Baker, he did a great job getting 5 outs, but the Bruins have been able to find the ball better off his hands since then. So we'll be back after the pitching change.
Number 7, Gabe Gerhardt.
Braden Hassan now on the mound for Toccoa Falls. Gabe Gerhardt up to bat. 1-1 count to Gerhardt. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bryson French leading off second base. Zay Brandt leading off third. Hit out of play. So now a 1-2 count. Hassan trying to get out of this inning after seeing his first batter. Hit up in the air. That one's definitely foul, and it will get out of play as well. One, 2 count. Off speed. And that's going to hit Gerhardt to load the bases for David Medina. I mean, hey, a grand slam right here would make this an 8-run game. And that's more doable. Medina has the power to do it. Hasn't hit a home run yet this year, but he might here. That one's going to go over the head of Medina.
Number 4, David Medina.
That one down out of the zone for ball 2. That one goes behind Medina. Medina says, "My bad." Everyone in the dugout is just yelling at him to wear it. Would have scored another run. 3-0 count. Takes it for strike 1. Wind picking up out of nowhere. Here's a 3-1. Swung through by Medina for strike 2. So full count, 2 outs again. Inside. And Hassan will walk in a run. It's now 16-5. Another meeting on the mound. Sam Gerhardt about to bat.
Sam Gerhardt.
Gerhardt with the bases loaded. His twin leading off second base. French leading off third base. And Medina off first. Devontae Brown on deck. Bruins have gone on a little run here with 2 outs. That one's outside for ball 2. Tipped into the glove for strike 1. Outside for ball 3. Hassan 1 ball away from walking in another run. Hit high in the air to center field. Compton under it. And Compton will grab it for out number 3. The Bruins get some runs on the board. It's 16-5. We're headed to the 7th inning. Nick Eckert, the guy who's been running in place of Ravitas all weekend long, finally stepping to the plate himself. The only other defensive change for the Bruins this inning is Jacob Highsmith, now playing first base. Zay Brandt still on the mound. Has done pretty well since beginning his appearance. Grounder. Crawford gets it, but Crawford isn't going to be able to make a throw. So Eckert, after running on first base, starting at first base each time, finally gets on first base himself. Alexander now at the plate. That one's in there for a strike. It's a 1-1 count. This has been a marathon of a 7-inning game. 2 hours, 45 minutes in. This thing's still not over. It's a 16-5 game. We're on the top of the 7th inning here. Hit the center field. And David Twitty catches it for out number 1. Now Aiden Dumas in his second at-bat of the day was walked last time.
Number 14, Aiden Dumas.
Ripped to left field. Eckert's going to stop at 2. Dumas is going to have a single. Will Miller now steps up to the plate. Runners on first and second.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 1, Will Miller.
One count now to Will Miller. Fouled out of play, 1-2 count. One-two count again. Miller fouls that one out of play. Fouled out of play again. And finally, ripped through the infield. Runners will advance one base, and Miller gets a single. Bases are now loaded. Still one down on top of the 7th inning. And then we're now seeing Ethan Andrews up to bat, the freshman from Gainesville, Georgia.
Number 36, Ethan Andrews.
He's in for Isaac Ravitas. I actually knew a guy named Ethan Andrews in high school. Definitely not the same guy. Just a very familiar name. 1-0 count. Noah 1-1. That one's up and in. 2-1 count. And now a 2-2 count. Two, bases loaded. In there for strike 3. Zabrant got him looking. 2 down now on the top of the 7th inning. And now Peyton Powell has had quite the day after not having a good one yesterday. In his 5 at-bats, he's 3 for 3, 2 walks, 2 doubles, and a single. What an incredible game for his on-base percentage. Powell hits that one out of play for strike 1. Here's the 0-1. That one's way inside. Powell dodges it. 1-1 count. Big cut. Pulled it toward the Bruins bullpen, or Bruins dugout, excuse me. 2-2 count. Bases loaded. 2 down. That one's hit straight in the air. The wind pushing it down as well. And that one's going to fall. The wind wreaking havoc. I mean, it's making leaves go everywhere too. Huge gust of wind made that impossible to get. So the lead extends to 17-5. Powell's going to reach. I'm pretty sure it's going to just go down as a single. Wasn't necessarily an error on either Madrano or Twitty. Never seen a ball hit so high come down so fast. And now Compton up with the bases loaded for the 3rd time today. Two-0 count to Compton. That was the pitch. He wanted that, and he wants it back. 2-1 count. Inside. Count pushes the 3-1. Big cut by Compton back into the net. Full count, 2 outs. Here's the full count from Brandt. Strike 3, got Compton looking. So we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. The score is 17-5. Back here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Devontae Brown leading off for the Bruins. I think this is finally here the last chance for the Bruins. Braden Hassan still on the mound for Toccoa Falls to hopefully close this one out for him and give him the win. And Devontae Brown's hit by a pitch to start this inning. And now Mannix Crawford steps to the plate. Devontae Brown leading off of first base. And wow, 2 straight hit batters to start the inning. Actually, did Crawford dodge that? He must have. I thought it hit him on the way back. So Devontae Brown moves up to second base regardless. It's a 1-0 count. Crawford hits that one up out of play. Scared a lot of people over there after it hit the bleachers. That's been the sweet spot for foul balls over in that little corner of the stands. There's been several hit there today. 1-1 count. Inside. 2-1. Hard grounder. Gets past. So Crawford's going to get to first safely. Devontae Brown stays at second base. Twitty now steps to the plate. Runners on first and second.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 37, David Twitty.
That ball gets passed, so both runners advance. Runners now on second and third. Twitty was practicing his hand-eye coordination on a swing before the game, hitting beans. I'd never seen that before, but he was hitting pinto beans. And that one gets passed again. Devontae Brown coming home. He's going to score. So the Bruins add one. Now 17-6. Mannix Crawford to third base. And it looks like Toccoa Falls is going to go to the bullpen again. So Hassan will come out, and we'll be back after the change. It's Noah Lynn now on the mound for Toccoa Falls. David Twitty up to bat with a 2-0 count. Twitty smacks that one up the middle, but sticks in the air long enough for Compton to grab out number 1. Mannix Crawford will tag on that, and he will score. Heads up base running by Mannix Crawford. Saw Compton taking his time. So he decides to run home. It's 17-7. So 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Elijah Medrano's up. Hits that one up and out of play. That one finds the inside corner. 0-2 count. Low out of the zone. Fouled up and out of play again. The 1-2. Outside for ball 2. Two count. Ball outside. Medrano forces a full count. And Medrano draws a walk. So now Zay Brandt up with Medrano now on first base. 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 2, Isaiah Brandt.
Up and out of the zone for ball 1. Hit high and deep to right field. That's going to get over his head. Medrano stops at 3. Zay Brandt with a double. Now runners on 2nd and 3rd for Bryson French.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 15, Bryson French.
French doubled in his last at bat. He foul tipped that one, and it hit the umpire. Hit the umpire. I think he's gonna shake it off. Heard a little grunt from him after it. They get the call from Daniel Abbo, the assistant coach. Now over there at third base in place of Kyle Morrison, who's probably avoiding a sunburn. All jokes, obviously. Wow! What a call by Abbo. He sends Medrano home. Bryson French swings, gets it down the line, and 2 runs are going to come in to score. A hit and run by the Bruins, and it all works out. It's 17-9. Now Gabe Gearhart. Still one down in the bottom of the 7. No way the Bruins come back from this, right? This would be crazy. I mean,
number 7, Gabe Gearhart.
Everyone seems to be having fun right now. We'll see if Lynn can find his rhythm again and end this marathon of a game 1 of today's doubleheader. We are 3 hours and 8 minutes into this game. That one gets passed. French will take second. Yes, ladies and gentlemen at home, we still have one more game today. And it'll start 30 minutes after this one ends. So get comfy on that couch and join us for the rest of the day. Gearhart slaps that one to right field. And French will stay at third. So runners now in the corners for David Medina. And another conference on the mound. There is still only one out in the 7th inning. I'm starting to believe this might happen. I don't know. Conference is over. Lynn getting ready to go again. Facing off against Medina. Runners now in the corners. I would not be surprised if Gabe Gearhart tries to take second, because why not? He's fast enough. He just has to get a good jump.
David Medina.
Medina takes one into the dirt. 1-0 count. Here's the 1-0. There goes Gearhart. In there for strike one. Gearhart gets there standing up. 1-1 count. 2 runners in scoring position now. Great play made over by Daniel Abbo, but a terrible throw. He gets booed by his own dugout. Now it's a 1-2 count, so Medina has to protect. Up in the air for ball 2, 2-2 count. Jacob Highsmith on deck. That one down in the dirt. So now a full count. That one's hit very high in the air. And it's caught. Both runners tag. So French will score. It's 17-10. Gearhart on third base now, 2 outs. Chances getting slimmer for the Bruins, but you got to applaud their effort here at the end of the game. Still finding a way to have fun in a game that got away from them early.
Jacob Highsmith.
Highsmith in his first at-bat today, with Gearhart leading off third base. Take strike one. Bruins are down to their last out here in game one of the doubleheader. That one gets away. Gearhart's going to come in to score, and it's 17-11. Now Highsmith, 1-1 count. 2 down here in the 7th inning. Hit up and out of play. Bruins down to their last strike. Here's the 1-2. Lynn gets him swinging. And after 3 hours and 15 minutes, game one has ended of this doubleheader. Toccoa Falls pulls out a 17-11 victory. The Bruins tried to fight back, but the marathon is over, and I hope we just have a 5K next. Game two is starting in 30 minutes, and we'll schedule to be starting at 3:45. My name is Trenton Goldsmith, signing off for now. I'll be right back in just about 30 minutes.